And there's the first tap of the Headhunter, the slide across, and Sonder picking up the last 2 kills, 3 into the round. I was going to get scared at some point because, yes, you mentioned a frenzy. Going with the relay bolt instead seemed that it was the key utility as well to open up the C site.
Yeah, exactly. It's the speed of just capitalizing immediately off of that fault line. It's just so huge for Shopify. And being that decisive and being able to swarm, again, it just catches off guard, right? Because you saw Bob had that response in that back C site, but as soon as she falls, none of the other members of Cloud9 can kind of flood into that site, right? So huge openings, and 3 members, they want to go sniffing down here.
Pushing down towards mid to start things off. Our C9 on his full save. Paint shells bouncing across the corner.
Oh, no.
Oh, my. What nice utility from C9. The fault line as well as everything else dropping 3. Spike, though, still up in hand of Shopify as we overtake that C site and pushing towards spawn after the tap.
Quick adjustment for KP. Oh, my God. 3 members on the other side of things.
You have to walk it.
They made it, though. They made it past that corner.
But as they start running, you still had 1 player. Bob was right there. By gong, we'll hear the footsteps. We'll call the rotate. Swings out, dinked, 10 HP left.
But her surviving and not actually going down is so huge for this retake. She's got the full kit. She's even got the haunt.
Look at all the weapons that were picked up by C9. 2 Bulldogs, the Spectre. This was a full save for Cloud9. And a pulse plant in a really decent position for the last 2 players of Shopify.
Cloud9, they've got to speed it up. They're so paranoid about the fact that somebody is in the spawn area. But as you can see, Shopify, they've completely given up the site, and as they should. bENITA's got such a good kit for this post.
Now, fault line, bENITA still has the gravity well, and KP runs through the smoke for the second kill, so we have to go for the duels. Another tap coming in as bENITA now swings out. Beautiful plays by the last 2 players of Shopify Rebellion as they salvage and save the round.
Huge recovery. Oh man, that would have just been so crushing. Coming is, I mean, it's literally quite everything for Shopify. That momentum, I don't know how they would have been able to stop that one. But once again, in a 2v4, just that slight adjustment, taking over that back site. This is not a bonus. This is quite a heavy purchase here for Shopify.
That's right, because they're going back with Bulldogs against the gun round from C9. Nice flash to push Mel away from her position. Now the Trailblazer out on the attack for Lorri. Mel still gets first contact. Is not afraid of falling back after that kill to play the numbers on this retake for C9. Plant comes down, but this flank is late.
It's very late. KP is going to be able to buy a lot of time down in this hell area. Even got the ultimate online along with the drill. So blind, they want to take over the spawn. No one to follow, though.
That's right. Rolling Thunder just to delay. Mel losing the fight from the heavens down towards long A. Finally, nice little shot by bENITA with the Bulldog. Popping 1 away. And only 2 players remain for C9. Make that only 1. Katsumi low on HP. Jump spotted by Lorri. We're just going to pop up for the swing. And that is a round converted by Shopify Rebellion, but still losing 3 players in the process. At least KP is
in the 4th.
For this round, you see an upgraded Spectre for Katsumi. Pushing down towards long C is going to be Mel, so they're trying to press
They're
forward.
doing it again.
bENITA waiting.
Oh, what a shot for Mel. She's got to expect more, surely.
So far from the TP, but it's a crossfire setup. Beautiful flash to try to answer back. This should drop the last 2 unless Mel can go to work with the right-click classic, but not going to come into fruition for any other kills. And that's that Spectre drop. Last 3 players are with shares for C9, and we force out the Seekers at least for Shopify.
Yeah, feeling the pressure is Shopify. These Seekers should allow them to get into the site here and get the spike down. Bob applying a lot of pressure.
Teleport's ready.
It's hard for the attackers to get back into long C. Now they finally do so. Jaskin's trying to push forward. Almost lands that shot, but the fault line to counter back. Aftershock then trying to line up KP. It will work as she falls. Here comes the first tap attempt. Both of them, all 3 of them off the spike to try to get the kills, but that's long range distance from heavy firing shooting from Lorri and flowerful.
Finding these opening picks round after round, but Shopify, they're just responding in turn. The quick reactions to group up and hit the other site whenever it's clear. It's definitely paying dividends. Again, decisive. They're close. The openings have just been completely in Cloud9's favor, but decisive decisions coming through here for Shopify. Healthy purchase. Only the athxna ultimate online, and you know what? I like an athxna ult on the attack side of things. It really cuts off half the map, especially when you've got that B site in the front. Mel's looking for an opening.
Dropping now,
So
flash.
blind.
That cosmic divide that you just have mentioned here, Christine. It's used to try to hit towards this A side, but Mel once again at dice goes in for the swing. A kill onto Sonder. Mel getting some support, going to work at C9, but bENITA tries to answer back, doesn't work out. C9 wins the round with a great hold, but assemble.
Man. All right, Mel, no armor on her back. A nice combo to just keep this grass control for C9.
No damage done. Shopify could slowly run back here towards grass control as we hear the crunching of the grass moving in for C9.
And Mel's got a lot of information, maintaining that long A line of sight, realizes that there's just no A main contention. It's fortifying this 4-1 defense setup that Cloud9 have right now. A lot of focus in this garage area.
Go get him.
Cloud9 are doing a good job keeping Shopify at bay right now, though. Both teams just A-okay with kind of trading this util. Oh, Cloud9. They really want to keep them at bay.
Oh yeah, even a Prowler is to come out too, so getting info, but unfortunately Bob, she thought that she was going to get a lot here towards this right side as she committed. Sonder made it through towards A-Link, back towards the B side and gets the headshot onto Jazikin. Then the off shot misses, beautiful relay bolt as she's trying to charge down and go against her opponent. Back into the site, trying to find Mel. As there's 27 seconds left, we're rotating back towards the C side for the plant.
Yeah, it's just all a ruse. I mean, Sonder's doing so much work in this A site. Take a look at the minimap, though. The spike is on the other side. And Sonder's brought entirety of Cloud9 to her.
Okay, we'll have time. Inside the site goes KP. And we'll get the plant, and that also activates the Rolling Thunder.
Look at bENITA's spot. Oh, no, the flick around coming through for Mel here.
You asked me to look, I saw it. It was a kill from Mel onto bENITA. So the off position into spawn didn't pay off. Katsumi going for the information play from the shadows. Mel so low on HP, Rolling Thunder coming out from KP as she's pushing on her own. Aftershock only has the frenzy. All of that utility coming out. Oh my god, it's huge for KP. Answered back by Mel, still with this 2 HP. It's a 2 versus 2. We're going for it, we're committing. Headshot from flowerful. Nice shot from Mel. And that might be that final kill that's gonna seal the deal at least for Shopify Rebellion. Mel's gonna come back and save the weapon. But
she wants to go for a checkmate. Flowerful just wants to finish this off, not allow Mel to save. Oh, but Mel, the sound cue just comes up right in the nick of time. And that front B, it was so hectic, right, Bob? I don't know if her ultimate just slipped past Sonder or not, but somehow or another, Sonder was able to slip past, make it into that A-Link area, and then just thrive.
Yeah.
Thrive in that chaos.
I was thinking about it. I feel like the Nightfall went towards grass, but it actually didn't really cut into the corner of the right side cubby down that window where 3 players are shopped. We do have Mel on the top of B with the Dodafos, while the other operator is looking down towards C, looking for a passive play, a retake on the A site, but we've also positioned Jazikins right in the corner of Bunny from the initial push.
Yeah, very interesting. They're deciding to just forego and leave this A site completely altogether. I'm expecting some aggression, but Bob, it's going to be tough to retake with this operator. I imagine she's going to just try to save it into the next if this A site happens, and it looks like it will.
And bENITA does manage to punish Jazikins, who's trying to go on that flank. Spike does go down. That's definitely what we're going to try to activate the duel de false here that Mel actually picked up. So she'll be first contact, and contact she will. Sonder falls as 2 players are playing towards hell, and KP's always been good in this spot. Has the aftershock ready.
This blind paranoia in tandem with the haunt should be coming through. Some pings across the map. Shopify have a response, though.
Flash then comes out from Lorri. That's the first answer, and Lorri also lands 2 kills, make that even a 3rd. But Mel's been on point here so far with this off almost the lineup, but still lands the 3rd shot, but not the 4th. bENITA stops her in her tracks finally. But
creating that pressure.
You want to play?
Looks like it's going to be an A main control. Sonder. Oh, she decides not to go in though.
Oh, Flowerful just saw her. She's going to ping it.
So much information.
This is so tough. Just because of that, now
Ouch.
Jazzican's stuck in there. The Dota falls to slow field on the ground. A slight mishap from C9, but once again, an early kill. Flood the site. Into B we go for Shopify Rebellion, but we fight back for C9 just for a bit. Ties up turn, we're tied 2-2, Spike is down.
So many trades across the board. Flowerful tried to get that spike down, but this deep smoke blocking off her vision. Bob, what a shot.
bENITA has the clutch now. From the shadows, saw. It went from left to right, but Katsumi still with the off angle, playing a little bit further out in the open.
Those fast rotations coming from the defenders, and you saw exactly it unfolding here, just like this. Two beautiful openings for Shopify, but that flood-in factor, if you hit this site, the rotations come out in like, what, 0.5 seconds or faster. So Cloud9, beautiful response,
Yeah.
and they absolutely needed it.
Especially on the default positions, one towards the garage, maybe playing towards the window more passively. The A-Link usually having a body there. Definitely you see the fast rotates coming through. And that, even if it's the second round here coming in for C9, you see that it's such a broken buy for Shopify.
Some pings coming out across the board for KP, giving the information over to her squad, and her ultimate has just hit 3 members.
Oh, and Sonder swings back up from the garage ramp. Kill with the frenzy.
The flash.
The beautiful flash coming out, allowing at least bENITA to survive for a bit, but she's stuck inside that cubby. The other two players of Shopify trying to answer back. A flash coming out from garage, but C9 did not pushing it down. They're holding their angles, and there you go. A clean hold in the end, and a third on the board. We talked about a slow start for Shopify Rebellion in the first half. This time it's a slow start on the second map for C9 White. And speaking of picking up the pace for Shopify, already early sewers control from Sonder with combination from Lorri off this sky. But still we're defaulting for Shopify.
Yeah, and usually when you're able to get this much space for free, it sort of changes your initial plan. Sonder, you saw her dropping down that neon wall to kind of block off the vision, keep Cloud9 guessing. Did she fall back? Is she still here? She's gonna want Cloud9 to come sniffing so she can punish. The rest of her squad is towards this mid area, and they're just slowed things down. But look at the positioning for C9. They have full garage control, the sound cues front B, the grass. Cloud9 should have a good idea that most players are congregated here towards this A site. Oh, but I love the move for Lorri. Because of this, she's sending out a dog, and this Astra wall is gonna block off all vision at C site.
But this rotation, they'll hear the rotation on grass. Mel is waiting for that crossover, and there's that first kill. Bob also, meanwhile, got a kill on the top of heaven. That dwindles the numbers for Shopify to move inside this A site, so this fake didn't work out. C's on the ground, underhand throwing a nade. Does not connect onto the kill. And still no plant coming through. Beautiful satchel to run that clock down. We're attempting for the plant one more time for Shopify Rebellion. As C9 are getting ready to move in. Not gonna work, Flowerful. Last player standing, stopped by Bob. Hands of Lorri. And Sonder only with a Sheriff. An early smoke coming out and utility from Cloud9 to take control, at least for some information towards the choke.
A nice bait and switch setup here for Mel and Katsumi. Expect Mel to TP away and tee up Katsumi for some sort of a multi-kill. Jazzykins is also so close by to be able to react and respond.
And that seems to be the play. Mel bait the TP, Katsumi play the angle. But for Shopify Rebellion, they're still just holding very slowly in the front of the B side, very quietly. Everything seems set right now for Cloud9. Just to have so many players on fast rotates on B sites.
Yeah, and bENITA is just biding her time, hoping that a fast flanker appears on her screen and she's able to punish, maybe bring the squad back to her at A site. But Shopify right now are just waiting and biding their time for a mistake, and Jazzykin's position is up.
And Flash is gonna make some noise. Here comes the paint shells out too. The low HP is gonna be Sonder, so no injuries coming in, but she salvages the Spectre. This lurk though from bENITA.
Yeah, she takes the timing to make her move, and oh, this Bob peeks around.
30
And they
seconds
just
left.
catch each other.
A little bit of wall bang damage coming through. Second shot coming in that allows this lurk to come up towards B, but it's held down by Alexis. Easy ADS as 2 more fall. And Shopify with the last remaining members will at least try to get the plant down towards this A site.
Oh,
Nice shot.
That kill will allow, actually, the spike to go down. That's extra money on the board and another frag for flowerful.
Okay, so the first one was off screen on the cross from bENITA into hell, but that from flowerful is really nice.
This is huge. I mean, Cloud9, they're having to use the breach ultimate, and flowerful's finding another.
1 versus 1, 9 HP. But Alexis gets 4 kills into the round, but oh my. Another, I gotta stop running out Shopify Rebellion when it's like, oh, this anti-eco should be okay.
You and me both, indeed.
On that previous round, full gun round, 2 operators once again, and a lot of ultimates for anything that they want to do. Meanwhile, for Shopify, looks like it's going to be a change of pace towards A.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a rifle nearby for Bob to be able to pick up. But she misses the first, has to expend the ultimate. And they just fall out. Cloud9's been bullied off the site.
So we pinged out 3 players with the Nightfall. Here comes a seasoning towards default. Doesn't work out, so KP repositions under heaven to go for a plant at long.
And Bob does collect that rifle, drops the operator, and this is going to be a full-on 5v5 retake. We mentioned Bob had already used the Fade ultimate, did not get much value out of that one.
We got a showstopper outside from heaven, but on top of the boxes, connects somehow onto flowerful, then onto the boxes, does not connect onto KP. We answer back at least for now. It's up to the rest of C9 to flood through towards spawn. Everything's being held. Sonder picks up the last 2 kills, and Shopify Rebellion, they regain and remain in the lead. In his
I like the idea of getting that early pick, dropping the rifle, popping your ult, but Shopify have been so good at that swarm factor all half long, right? As soon as one person appears, it's not...
And C9 for these plants, a lot of them here towards situations and angles where they could play a little bit further back.
Yeah, exactly. I love the combination of Neon and Chamber, right? That 1-2 punch. Neon gets this aim in control, you insert Chamber, and Chamber can always TP away, get out of jail after that first pick. So a lot of options for SR, but they're just running it down.
Sonder doing a cosplay here of Hussein Bolt, just bolting it down towards long C for the flank. And we talk about aggression and you get it. Meanwhile, though, for C9, they're going for this plant.
The drill! It forces Jazzy out. Sonder, that's a freebie with a frenzy, but Katsumi with the fast response.
No more dreams.
The shots are still very good for C9!
My.
KP, last one to go. Classic in hand. Picks up the ghost. Plant now for spawn, at least for Cloud9. The utility was great for Shopify Rebellion to delay, but not the duels. KP looking back and trying to look for anything, but Alexis greets her, and C9 get the pistol.
Unfortunate for Shopify. So many sound cues coming out across the board. You saw Jazzy, as soon as she heard that, she just tucks away. And sure, because of that drill, she doesn't get much, but that information was enough for C9 to have that optimal post plant, position themselves in the right spots. Mel getting all that ground in back sight. And that headhunter. It's great to see that Mel is whipping out the headhunter and getting the shots that we know and love she can get.
Oh, yeah. Anything that's coming out from the chamber for Mel definitely is showing, you know, all these features that we've seen with the hype videos around this game changer is why Mel is pretty much the embodiment here of chamber. And with this round,
What was that?
not too sure.
Can you repeat that for us in the crowd, please?
All right.
Having a lot of fun in this one.
Yep.
As they should. You know, I think everyone right now has a little bit of breathing room for the first time this game. And anti-eco to come out just classics. None of that funny business with shotguns across the board. But again, Shopify, they have so much ground. Aggressive start. The fault line's going to push Jazzy off the angle. The paint shells and the satchels, though, it's going to create havoc.
Yeah, C9.
Oh, no!
Taking a little bit of a book from X10, playing towards spawn very, very slowly, but with that, still loses the first engagement at bottom C. We clear out for another plant towards spawn. All that information is good enough here for C9 to just reposition themselves. Maybe reflank from Garage, and that's Bob right there with the ghost. Going head-to-head against Sonder, who just wants to bring the fight to her.
You love to see it, though. You love to really try to secure this and dominate.
Yeah.
We don't have the better weaponry anyways. Cloud9 deciding to fully go for a bonus. Mel still wielding this Marshall and doing chamber things in front B. No trip, no sound cues for her either. And you look, the spike is right on her heels.
bENITA waiting, now wall banged. Answered back by KP on a crossfire from the A-Link, so the smokes were a little bit late. Mel trying to push forward. bENITA looking for some support. That's flowerful now rotating back towards the C site to support towards spawn, but it's too little too late.
Oh! Bob had an inkling, the spidey senses tingling, but Lorri gets the better. And flowerful's gotta be good. Katsumi with the Spectre.
This allows now for C9 to rotate back towards the C site. 2 weapons picked up too, so upgrades for the C9 squad. And a plant now towards long. No smokes available for the retake.
Yeah, but Katsumi has a smoke and still paranoia. She's
Yes.
gonna try to gain some ground, maybe a one-way on top of the spike.
Would be
And
great.
Mel's gonna meet back up. Yeah, this post plant is starting to look doable.
Especially when KP this time doesn't have an aftershock to work with, so this position in the cubby is a great spot to have. There's that paranoia. There's the first shot from Mel. Spike is now down. Paranoia, excuse me, already got used. Lorri now looking to push down. The flash, the first contact, and it's going to be KP, though, to come back to get the last 2 kills. But a good bonus round coming in for C9, as Shopify Rebellion will get 8 on the board.
Absolutely, and I love the quick call coming out for Shopify. As soon as that one-way is on the type, you tap, you bait, you shoot, you miss a few shots, but Shopify say, no, let's not mess with that. Run her
it
down.
down.
KP, power and number swinging, gets the trade.
One enemy
Beautiful
remaining.
stuff for Shopify, and I love the start of the round as well, right? You saw bENITA
Yeah.
and KP in both the links. Benny, toward good look for Shopify to start out this round.
Yeah, positioning is key on these A-Link and C-Link positions. Especially when the attackers, they had to clear tight angles. You might catch them off guard where they're not looking towards those links anymore. That said, though, here comes an aggressive push from C9 into this B-side phone line, but counter relay bolt. Jaskin slows down as the spike now falls into B. Jaskin looking to fight back, and Lorri does manage to avenge her teammate. There's just so much good utility coming out from Shopify Rebellion that only leaves Bob by herself.
No utility left besides that C's. The Haunt will be coming back up. It is a 1 versus 3, but all members of Shopify very much grouped up. Full minute left on the clock. A lot to work with if you're Bob.
2 flashes available for KP, 1 for Lorri. As Bob is just looking for these individual duels, but this crossfire setup is huge for Shopify. The jiggle peek doesn't connect onto the first shot there, onto flowerful. Fault line then could have a flash for a swing soon. But instead, Shopify decides to
30
play it
seconds
very
left.
cautiously. Just using the confidence of the crossfire setup.
Find you.
And the third time was not a charm. Bob gets picked off and Shopify Rebellion put 2 onto the board. In all these attempts, we'll see if we have a chance to talk about it later here into this B site, but that's one thing to touch upon. This time for C9 White, hero rifle for Alexis, and it's just a bulldog as we had first contact towards A long. But with that smoke coming out, with the utility to counter back from Shopify Rebellion, C9 easing back towards C here.
Yeah, it's just an anti-eco, but flowerful is under a lot of pressure right now.
bENITA in the back of the site, 2 kills with the Vandal.
Oh,
and Mel!
boy.
That's the second one, so we
24.
even up the tally. Pulls out the tool of false, but the spike is down. Nightfall against the Seekers. Low HP is going to be Sonder. We hear the footsteps coming out. We're trying to get the pre-fired shot. But Lorri still drops one from the back of the site. KP looking for the fault line. That
Oh
allows his swing
my.
to come out, but no hits comes in. Bob in the back. Low HP is going to be Sonder. Out with the overdrive. And fries her opponent. And that was so
And everyone was fault line. If they weren't fault line, they were blind. And if they weren't blind, there was bENITA swinging them, right? So definitely, Shopify, they're ready to party.
Yeah, and it comes down as well from Lorri with the flashes too. They can actually cycle so many flashes to allow Sonder to move and come in with these kills. And it overpowers Cloud9 so far, and please don't fall off your chair. Sonder, you got this. With this round, a rifle round coming out for C9 White. Again, it's always a stalemate that we currently have towards this A choke, but also really throughout the second half, not too much early commitment into sewers for C9.
Yeah, that is peculiar because we mentioned earlier before flowerful having that long range line of sight. It seems like this time Shopify, they're not even really worried about this A site. You can even see Lorri deciding she's okay with giving it up completely. There just hasn't been a lot of action in that part of the map. Mel, what a beautiful shot. Sonder, biting off a little bit more than she can chew.
Yeah, the moon buns, unfortunately, peeking out and peering under that windowsill. But speaking of window, flowerful was there to support, currently waiting for our timing on the flank. As we talk about C9, took a bit of time to take control of A site, but we're moving towards that area. Nice little dodge off the Trailblazer, and bENITA's creeping in. Popped off by Jazzykins. It's going to allow now C9 to get the plant.
bENITA trying to regain that ground by following that Sky util, but oh man, Jazzy so quick being able to contact. Now flowerful, they know.
Okay,
That's
Bob.
a good response.
Yeah, Bob still decided to peek forward instead of trying to play the crisscross, double swing, support from Mel. As now the flashes, utilities coming out from both initiators. Fully blind is going to be Jazzykins! And the flank works out. Only one to go. It's got to be Mel. The flash fully blind. So that will guarantee at least a half the fuse.
Oh boy.
Who gets it? Jump spot. Now off it. It's got to be the mind games here from Mel. Can she get this clutch? And she is playing the time to perfection. Back to the gun and lands with a shot. The Red Bull clutch.
Are clawing their way back in this half. They've got still a couple rounds to go to be able to tie things up. But a good response at least. And it was that A hit, Van. We were talking about that A site being a little bit too quiet for it being Haven. But this time in the mid-round, finally Cloud9, they regain that part of the map. They go sniffing. And Mel, she wants to do it again. A main control.
This is actually really good, though. We've committed aggressively on the top of the A choke so we could just cover towards long. And this might be one of those moments where we're never really going to move on the top of the boxes at least until the contact comes in. So Mel now could finally move down as our teammate avenges Jazzykins. And that allows now C9 to try to pry the A site open. Soon they'll realize that it's actually up for grabs. Easy plant to come in.
A little bit unfortunate, flowerful wasn't able to TP back away. This flank is gonna take quite some time for Shopify. They wanna allow bENITA to get into a better position. This quick kill will allow that.
It's a mistiming on that smoke, but we have the Rolling Thunder primed up and ready to shoot even before the tap. We're just gonna fight for it. Sonder somehow does get the click into the Astro Cosmic Divine. And how did that happen for Shopify Rebellion to just flood back in and get the defuse?
Oh man, this A site must be cursed. Cloud9 White knew something we didn't. They had every advantage to be able to convert that one, but that late flanked her teammates enough to get the retake going, get the ball rolling down the hill, and she just finishes it off with things. Oh boy, KP, yes. Gonna be happy after that one, for sure.
11-8 in favor of Shopify Rebellion as C9 looks like they want to change the pace a little bit, try to get some off timings. A shrouded step from Katsumi to get into the corner of the A cubby. But trying to play the mind games, as we mentioned before, Christine, sometimes on these ecos, you just want to try to get a plant into the B site, so she throws the smoke into B.
That should be a lot of information here for Shopify. And there is the, Seeker's being sent out.
Found one.
That's a lot of pressure, actually. Silence speaks louder, I guess. Right now, Shopify, not a lot of information on the map, and that's allowing the paranoia to creep in. Look, there's a showstopper on the back of Jazzy, so it makes sense. They don't want to get pounced on and allow Cloud9 to have that sort of exec.
And off that as well, we tried to avoid the utility of the cabbages coming out from that sky and still have two players posted up towards the A long. Meanwhile, this is all to maybe try to make a ruse towards long C, force to rotate out, and the battle will come back here towards A long. There's that rotate as well from Cloud9 back into the A site. There's only one player in there, but it's still Sonder with a Vandal in hand.
Rotations are coming through and comes right in the nick of time. Lorri is good for it. The 1-2 punch out of these two, and it's just all down to Bob with the Sheriff. The spike down in front, 14 seconds left, and she just gets wiped out. What a clean anti-eco, really, for Shopify here. And I love the start of things, right? I mean, it seems like Cloud9 White, at least coming into this, Again, it's all down to that showstopper. I think anytime Jazzykins has a showstopper online, she's good for it. Even in the last map when she doesn't get a kill with the showstopper, her boombot finishes the job for her. So definitely coming into this, all eyes are on Sonder's back here.
And now you see this map point for Shopify Rebellion. Jazzykins this time.
A lot to say for Lorri there.
Oh yeah.
To 12, Shopify. That's got to feel good when you're forcing Cloud9 into a corner, making them have those early timeouts. Flowerful's got that operator in her hand, looking for that opening pick. And this sewers control, Cloud9 haven't gone early.
Yeah, it's a timing. Boombot lineup to look back towards the sewers to see if anybody's playing aggressively down towards the area for Shopify Rebellion. That will then allow C9 to press forward a little bit and see if it's going to force a rotate from Shopify. Nothing yet.
Now, Lorri's been sending birds down mid-round to get that information to figure out exactly where the hit is going to be coming from. She's near this garage. So this bait and switch, maybe a bird to follow to blind after Sonder gets contact, will be huge for Shopify.
There's that showstopper, but the relay bolts a little bit too late. Sonder now falls as C9 are trying to scale back into the C site. Lorri looking for the backstab inside the smoke of the garage. Jumps back out, sprays early, now gives her position away. Meanwhile, though, we're still waiting for this plant. It will finally work out. Lorri's still looking for contact.
Solid post plant coming out here. All 5 members. And these are the hardest, the toughest crossfires to break. No fault line available for KP either.
Oh! Still lands 2 shots, but Alexis answers back, 2 of her own.
Oh, the collateral chance.
She get laid off that. She had 5 HP, and it doesn't matter.
So close.
Or take the site too on C.
Yeah, and it was just pretty straightforward, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just send the rays in there,
Here
get that
comes the
garage.
party.
Yes, here comes the party. And very straightforward. Worrying signs that in this next one, they won't have that rocket to really lean onto, but Katsumi's got the Omen ultimate coming online, and we've seen some very creative plays off the back of this Omen ult. Being able to, in the mid-round, use it as a distraction, use it for info, and just gain that space. Again, same Boombot lineup coming out here for Cloud9. This time, Shopify are a little bit more aggressive. They want to contest this.
And the Prowler actually doesn't go deep enough into the smoke. So there's 2 players still hiding in there for Shopify Rebellion.
KP, the breach, right on the heels of her teammates. Expect a lot of utility. That information is going to keep these 3 defenders here, ready to contest. Oh, they're expending the ult.
Rolling Thunder as Lorri punishes Katsumi trying to fall back. And we're now running forward. Through the smoke!
Oh
a second
my
one
God.
onto Bob! And now with the Trailblazer trying to find more. It's just up to 2 players remaining for Cloud9 White to survive another round here, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. 45 seconds left on the clock. Spike at least still on the back of Jazzykins, and look at that. Despite the aggression, we're falling back and playing our sights.
Yeah, there's a world. Look, Alexis is 1 off the ultimate. If the spike gets on her back, if flowerful misses this shot, they're able to get a clean opening. Oh, here's the chance. Here's the chance we were talking about.
Okay, this will be a classic caster curse if this happens here for C9. But the flash, no info, overdrive coming out. bENITA on the backstep on the C-Link. Alexis does get the spray on the 2.
Ultimate.
Now hit by the fault line, but she does have the Rolling Thunder. 2 versus 1. Here's the footsteps on both. 3 bullets left in the chamber. Back with the Rolling Thunder on one end, and KP gets the wall bang on the other. And Shopify Rebellion will bring this into a 3rd map.
What a way to secure and seal the deal as well. KP on this breach was just something else. I mean, the support that she was applying, the utility, anytime Cloud9, especially towards that C site we're in, everyone was just consistently stunned. Her setting up Sonder to